Hey guys, how you doing? It's Electro Jet here. Welcome to my review of She-Hulk Attorney at Law. In this video, I'm going to be giving you my summation and my opinions on the first episode of She-Hulk.
He's the man in the bandana, the man with the charm. He's a dude with the glasses and a lady on his arm.
Now, just to be fair, we're going to be starting with my issues with the first episode. Then we'll move on to my praises and my high points. I'm going to do my best to be as non-biased and even-keeled as possible. In the opening of episode 1, we see Jennifer Walters practicing her closing arguments for a high-profile case. At the end of this scene, Jennifer breaks the fourth wall for the first time, admitting she is a Hulk. At the beginning of the next scene, we see Jennifer driving in a car with Bruce Banner, talking about various things, such as why he isn't in Hulk form right now, and Captain America's history. While in mid-conversation, a Sakaran spaceship surprises them and they drive off the road, flipping the car a few times. She works her way out of the car. She helps her cousin out of the car and accidentally mingles his blood with hers. That is basically the entirety of the She-Hulk's origin story. I just want to explain to you, I'm trying to be as fair as possible. So I'm going to point out this stuff. Alright, so don't be getting mad at me. Anyway, look, I don't know about you, but in my opinion, this seems like a complete disservice to the comic book's origin story. This was all accomplished within the first 10 minutes of the episode. I understand having to take some liberties and shortcuts, but it seems to be a bit excessive. I'm messing with my hat. No touching. If you trying to take my hat, back off. The hell. Look, during the training montage, I felt as though there was no sense of urgency, or risk, or even loss, or even character development. It felt as though she was already fully developed. You know, kind of like Rey Palpatine, from that movie, Rise of Skywalker. Kind of like that. The way she was making the Hulk look bad seemed a bit forced, if you ask me. It took Bruce 10 years to get to the stage he's at now. And Jennifer gets there within a mere measly few days? Make it make sense. Now, before I start getting hate from the feminists and feminist groups, consider comparing this to the source material. That's all I got. You'll see huge discrepancies. I'm taking into consideration the differences between the MCU's origin stories and the origin stories of the comics. There's always going to be differences. Look, I find myself in the unique position of having to apologize for or retract some of my criticisms if they make up for it in the next few episodes, such as character development or source material discrepancies. And I have no problem with that. But I'm going to be honest. As you guys know, I've always been honest. I gave you my honest opinion, and I'm going to continue to do that. Contrary to the beginning of this review, I find myself quite entertained by this episode. The fourth wall breaking that Jennifer did as herself and as She-Hulk, She-Hulk being the first comic character to actually do that, was immensely enjoyable. It harkened me back to my comic book reading days, which was very nostalgic. The humor I found to be spot on. Honestly, I thought it was spot on and with excellent timing. I couldn't stop laughing at all the times the Hulk put Jennifer in distress. I felt like it was quite unique and ingenious, but to see Jennifer clap back and get even had me in fucking stitches. These two characters worked well off of each other. Tatiana Maslany and Mark Ruffalo are a dynamic duo, in my opinion, and comedic gold. I love the fact that a lot of the legal humor in this show is very similar to Ally McBeal, a show that I liked very much. And I found it very refreshing, and surprisingly, the timing was par with Night Court, another show that I fucking enjoyed. I don't know anyone that didn't like Night Court. And this is how good these two individuals' timing are. It's impeccable. I like it, and I think they need to continue down this road, especially when they hit the movie theaters. We got to see how She-Hulk does there. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. When I was watching the trailers over the past few weeks for this show, I was not impressed whatsoever with the CGI effects, especially with the She-Hulk, the way the She-Hulk looked. Knowing what I know about the MCU movies and streaming shows, sometimes they work until the last possible minute to complete their CGI effects, and that, in fact, is what happened here. And I knew it would be. I made my comments on my trailer reviews. I liked what the story was going, but I didn't like how the She-Hulk looked. But I thought there might be improvements the day of the show. I was highly impressed with the CGI and the improvements they made over the trailer. The action art, although not over the top or bombastic, was definitely adequate for this episode. I'm quite certain, I'm pretty sure that the action sequences will be, most definitely ramped up over the next few weeks. But, like I always say, everyone has an opinion, and take what I say with a grain of salt. Because what I like, some people won't. And what I don't like, other people might like very much. So by all means, take the opportunity, watch the show, and I would love to hear your opinion in the comment section. Now, the last thing I got left to say is, if you got to the end of this video and you enjoyed it, and I kind of knew or sounded like I knew what I was talking about, please hit the like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, trying to push it up there, and I'd appreciate it. God bless you, and see you on the next review. Peace.